All right, everybody. Well, welcome back to another episode of the Blazer Victory Podcast. John Duncan here, and of course, I'm joined as always with both of my co-hosts, Darian Smith and Jimmy Marion. And we've got another basketball episode for you guys. But before we get into that, this episode is brought to you by Cahaba Brewing Company. We're going to spotlight the Blood Orange Blonde. That's Jimmy's favorite beer. And head on down to the tap room. It was on draft at our last watch party. And they also had cans. So pick you up a 6-pack to go and let them know that you heard about Cahaba from the Blazer Victory Podcast. All right. Hey, and YouTube. I forgot all these other episodes. I failed to mention YouTube. So all right, Big Jim, I'm hearing you. So Blazer Victory Podcast is on YouTube. We still have a goal of hitting 400 subscribers before football season. So please hit that link in your show notes. Even though if you're listening to us on audio, whether it's Spotify or wherever. Oh, Darian's camera just fell. But definitely hit that subscribe button and help us out to get to 400. We just only have like 20 more to hit 400 before football
14.
season. So yeah, 14. So hey, grab a significant other's phone, or please tell us. Word of mouth. Word of mouth is critical. Not a lot of UAB fans as opposed to, Auburn, Alabama. So if you listen to us and like us, or you watch us and like us, please share us on your social media. And if you're at church or going to an event, hey, check out the Blazer Victory Podcast. It helps us out a lot. So, all right, that out of the way, we got to talk about this Memphis game, and we'll get to the NIT. We'll get to the NIT. Guys, Sunday was depressing in the Duncan household. If it had been any other team beat UAB 3 times in the same way each time, I would have been upset, but not as upset as a rival doing it. And to hear the noise of Memphis, we don't consider UAB a rival, but they're all over social media clapping back at UAB fans, and it's just the way, man. Memphis gets hot in the second half. Danger, tearing up UAB inside the paint. It's the same story 3 times, and to see like all 3 of us felt the last time we recorded, we were positive vibes, like this is the time. They got a player hurt. This is the time. And to see it all just go up in flames. So let's just spend a couple minutes talking about this Memphis game, and we're going to move on to the NIT. Jimmy, what are your first thoughts, our initial thoughts?
For our listeners, John threw a curveball. We hopped on pre-show, and he's like, "We got to talk about this Memphis game." And
we were not
Darian,
planning on it.
Yeah, I was like, I thought we were going to talk about our win. No, yeah, the Memphis loss was really tough. For those of you listening, y'all know me. I was scared. I didn't want to play Memphis. I was, we heard AK talk in the leading up to the conference tournament about the desire to have, the seed in which we would be in the opposite side of the bracket of Memphis. And there was a reason for that, because you don't want to see them early, because you know how tough of a game that's going to be. So if you can potentially avoid Memphis until the conference championship game, then you may see Memphis drop a game before the conference championship game. And then you're right there in the thick of it. I think my exact text to our Blazer Victory chat, when Tulane came up, whatever it was, 1 point short, was welp. And by welp, I meant, I felt like if we win against North Texas, that's it. And why did I feel that way? I texted the guys. I'm sitting there at Cahaba, and we're watching the game. And I know I'm not crazy. I mean, I am crazy, but I'm not that crazy. Like, why do I feel this way? Why am I not wanting to play Memphis? UAB has not beat a Memphis Tigers basketball team outside of the city of Birmingham since 1999. I was 7 years old in 1999. I could have just done one of those like lists of like what was going on in 1999. Like this was a number one song in 1999. But it's just been forever, man, since UAB has beat a Memphis team without having the backing of a near sellout at a Bartow Arena at home. And so, jokingly, I think we talked about the span in which over like almost a decade, I think Memphis beat UAB, whatever it was, like 16 straight times. It's just like an opponent that I just didn't want to see, just because it wasn't likely. With all that being said, UAB could have won that game. And UAB could have won many of these games. Yes, Memphis has blown UAB out in certain matchups. But a lot of times, UAB, including myself, calls it still a rivalry because the games are intriguing, because the history is there, and because the matchups have some real, emotion behind it on both sides. To John's point, there's a lot of clapping back from the Memphis side on social media. And like, if you really don't care, you don't have to say anything. Like there's plenty of people that UAB will face that you won't see us going at their fan bases because we're not going at St. Joseph's after beating them because we don't care. That's truly not a rivalry. We don't care. We played them twice. But nonetheless, UAB in this game, what was frustrating was, to John's point, the way in which we lost. I had texted the guys before the game, and I said, whatever it was during the weekend, that look at the stats of Danger and Cisse and what they've done against UAB in the first two matchups. So that was going to be a problem. So we knew what that was going to be. I remember listening to Steve Mitchell in pregame, and he was saying that he felt that the team was confident going into the game. He felt that the coaching staff thought they had a good game plan to limit Danger touches and to limit Haggerty, and that just didn't happen. And then UAB was up in this game. UAB didn't even play a fantastic first half of basketball, and they led by 3. Memphis spotted us a starter that was averaging close to 13, 14 points a game, and still down the stretch, there wasn't enough shot making. AK talked about Yaks getting, tired, and he was playing whatever it was, third game in 3 straight days. Yeah, I tried to find like a image of I don't know if y'all played like Madden or like NBA. I couldn't remember what game it was, but they would show like the fatigue chart of like the player, and it would have like the red like on the shoulder or whatever. I felt like if you had an image of Yaks, it would just be like red from like head to like literally toe, because of how much he was injured, and back and toe, and he looked like he tweaked his knee the other night against St. I mean, it's just like every game this dude is just putting his whole body like on the line. A guy that could easily just sit back and just say, I'm not going to play, not the Memphis game, but moving forward the NIT, because he's right there on the verge of like a, late first, early second round draft pick. But nonetheless, it was frustrating because it was another game in which UAB led at half that they couldn't hold on. It was the way in which Memphis went on inside on us that we couldn't stop. It was another game in which we didn't have enough perimeter shot making outside of a Butter who always shows up for big games. So yeah, it took me like a whole, like probably 72 hours to like get over that one. There was no 24-hour flush it Trent Dilfer analogy there. It took like a good 72 hours for me to get over that one. And hopefully that's all I have to say about the Memphis game as I toss it over to Darian, because I am ready to flush it.
Yeah, I was okay. It was a frustrating loss. It was made me upset, but you get beat 3 times by a team, just like AK said, tips to them, they're the better team. There's no other way around it. Their team had better talent. Their coaches outcoached us. That's it. Like if you beat a talented team 3 times in a row, that's what it is. And I would rather go out knowing that. Like, I'm glad that we were able to. I didn't want to dodge Memphis. I wanted to face them, right? Because I wouldn't even felt right getting into the NCAA tournament dodging somebody. Like, oh, like, that's just. I mean, it's cool getting in there, but we would have gotten the first round. We would have got our ass beat anyway, if that's the case. Like, if I'm being real, like, and I'm not interested in that because I feel like a fraud. Like, it's just
So
to me
everybody
that.
blame Darian. So everybody blame Darian. That's why we
Yep.
lost to Memphis.
Yep, because we would have got into the tournament and people would have been like, this sorry ass UAB team shouldn't have been in the tournament anyway because we got our ass beat by whoever we would have been facing,
Longwood.
right?
Oh, I thought you were
Like,
about earlier this year.
like what I don't know what kind of speed we would have been, but we would have got beat by 25, and it would have been an uninteresting game. That's how I take it, right? So just like AK said, to be the man, you got to beat the man. He gave us props. It's like we couldn't beat him, right? For what it's worth, it is frustrating knowing that I saw the game plan working in the beginning. I saw the confidence. We was talking about like Haggerty, right? I saw them limited. They was doing a good job walling him off, make him shoot. They did a good job of packing the paint, active hands, frustrating him. I saw him like whining for foul calls and like just trying to force something because he wanted to get going but couldn't because I felt like we were executing the plan. And I felt like, oh man, this is the time because I remember saying to y'all like, man, if Butter get over like 14 points, at least 14 points, and then we got Yaks playing how Yaks can play, both of those things happen. Both of those things happened, right? Like Butter was outside making shots. Yax was playing, doing Yax things, and I'm just like, all right. We were like clogging the paint. We were up at halftime. I was like, but it felt different to me. Like, man, we got a game plan, and I don't see Memphis um being able to figure out this puzzle. Well, all they did was just like speed up, and that's the thing that they did last game. They just sped up, and I felt like our guys just once Memphis has a certain degree of athlete. I think their speed up can cause our guys to kind of mentally speed up, right? So once they get going, they get to going on a fast break. We couldn't keep them off the offensive boards, right? It seemed like guys kind of lost if it got too fast with that level of athlete. It's like our IQ is like we couldn't just keep up mentally. And then it's kind of like, what are we doing defensively, right? What are we doing offensively? Like, I know, and this ain't picking on nobody. I'm just like, I felt like AJ would kind of press, it's like swing the ball, swing. That's a bad shot. That's a bad. Oh, it's a run out dunk. Oh, it's a and one. PJ Haggerty. Now he's going. Now he's getting to the free throw line. Now, then it's like, Christian Coleman smoke layup, right? Like, oh, they're off to the races. And it's kind of like, dude, calm down and let's play our game that we've been playing. That's what was frustrating to me. It's not the fact they beat us, but I still feel like if we just followed our game plan, we could beat them. And what's frustrating is I'm like, we didn't execute the way I can't. It's hard for me to say that because the team beat you 3 times. I can't be like, well, if we would have just executed, because the other side of me is like, dude, they beat you 3 times, they better than y'all. But at the same time, I still felt frustrated because we didn't execute the way that we could for a full game. We do it for a half. And maybe guys get tired. Maybe that's it, but it's just deflating being at that moment again, having that moment again. We talked about this with UAB sports. We have these moments, we're given these opportunities, and we come up short every time. For one time, I just want us to come on, like let's get it together. It's like we get a conference championship, we'll do something like that. Let's do something with it. Let's win a game in the NCAA tournament. Right? We was right there with Sandy, and I'm proud of last year team. You can't
Oh
get me
yeah.
to say nothing negative because we fought last year. We
Mhm.
took San Diego State there. Like they had to. I'm proud of that. I'm really proud of that. Now, what I would have wanted to beat Memphis on the way there, I think they would have really just like, they would have been it for me. But we beat them. We beat them in Bartow, right? I know
Mhm.
Jimmy just put out like since like I don't even
1999.
Bill Clinton was the president or something like that. Like I couldn't even vote, and we beat him outside. But like moving on, it's more about the after effects of what it does. Like the game is the game. We just talked about it, but it's the after effects of. I don't want people to look at UAB. I want interest. I want to attract more people when we have the stage that you know. I want people to really see the real talent, the real coaching talent that we have on this team. And when we have those stages and we come up short, people just like, because we get so many casual fans of the game, right? So many casual fans are like Alabama, Auburn fans because they win. all these casual fans, but they give UAB an opportunity. I just want to take advantage of those opportunities, but I feel like it sets us back. Like the listens that we get on this podcast, the more we lose these games, the less people that are interested.
Numbers
That is
drop. Yeah.
that is facts. The less people come to watch parties. It start off popping. It start off good. We got videos and stuff that can show that. But once you start losing here and losing, that's football and basketball. We was talking about that Tulane watch party we had, all these people there with so much excitement. You get to later on the season, you lose, and next thing you know, you got a loyal 15 people. You right? And I can't blame the people. I can't blame the people. It's only so much that we can do. So that's how I feel.
Hey, just real quick, 1999, things like monumental happenings in 1999. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets came to the U.S. Tiger Woods won his first PGA championship, What about on here? Toy Story 2 was released in 1999. Pokemon became popular. It swept the nation in 1999. Those are just some things that happened as SpongeBob premiered in 1999. How many episodes of SpongeBob have came out since UAB last beat Memphis away from Bartow Arena? But let's move on because next year, 2026, we're gonna kick that ass.
I hope so.
Darian, did you hear that? Did you hear 1999? Tiger Woods won his first PGA championship.
Oh, I just think about the Prince song, So tonight, I'm gonna party like it's 1999. So
You know what I
Y2K, we
think?
were all scared. Y2K scare was happening in 1999.
I was thinking about so if you it's a popular dance song. It said it was going down in the 99 and the 2000. If you back that thing up or back that, so that's when that song came out. That's like an old school uncle and auntie song now, right? That's like, it's like that song just dropped that year. Like we had, I think I was in band. Was I in? I think I was in band. So yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. But
Darian
yeah,
was
we.
whooping up on some people on the Pee Wee football field, like young Darian
yeah.
was
I play
pancaking
like
people.
no, I was playing like tight end and you know, linebacker. I was a pretty good linebacker. I probably should play linebacker, But yeah, man, it's just that I I will hold on to one day we're gonna have this moment, right? And not only are we the moment is going to be the season, not just one moment. We're going to stack football, basketball. It's gonna come, guys. It's gonna come, and when it do, I want to refer back to pain, all of this pain that we have harbored up, and how we shout out to y'all. Because I'm thinking right now, it's like, man, you got to be some loyal fans, bro, to be listening
Sickos.
to this right
Yeah.
now. Some sickos to be listening to this right now. Y'all hold the same faith that we do.
Yes. Well, so while everyone else is playing in the NCAA tournament, let's give a look at the NIT. Just so shout out YouTube, showing the bracket right now, and UAB gets the dub over St. Joseph's Wednesday night, 69-65. And we can kind of talk about that for a little bit. And UAB will play Santa Clara Sunday night at 8 o'clock. So these times are in Eastern time. So it's 8 o'clock on ESPNU. But guys, let's talk about the St. Joseph's Eagle. I'm sorry.
Oh Lord, have mercy. Santa Clara beat them 101-62.
Oh yeah. Hey.
Oh,
They beat that team that tried to do in what they join the CBI and then say, hold on now, we'll join the NIT and screw South Alabama out of a spot in the NIT. Y'all think we're upset about playing in the NIT? South Alabama just wanted that opportunity, and they deserved that opportunity.
They were good.
Winning the regular season, Shout out. Was it Richie? Is that his
Richie
coach's
Riley.
name? Yeah, Richie Riley. Some UAB ties there, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
shout out to them. Hate
Dunning.
that. Yeah. So yeah, Dunning's playing for them.
That would have been cool. You see what Jacksonville State did to Georgia Tech right
Mm-hmm.
there. Where is Samford in the middle of all this? I didn't keep up with
They
Samford.
lost. They lost
George
to George
Mason.
Mason. Yeah, George Mason.
Mm-hmm.
But it would have that's been cool because we got Alabama and Auburn. They're in the NCAA tournament. Then it would have been having all four of us in the NIT. I thought that would have been at least cool. Like, and hopefully it would have been cool. Like if everybody would have won, we would have found a way to kind of play each other. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's what they get for screwing up South Alabama. Shout out to them. Shout out to our boy Barry Dunning.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So how about this game at St. Joseph's, guys? The first half, UAB's losing at halftime by 1 point. The stretches in that second half, I was like, let's
Thought we
gonna
were cooked.
pack it up, yeah, pack it up and come home. But shout out to the guys. Went on a run in the last couple, and I'm sure Jimmy has some the exact run that UAB went on. But hey, shout out to the guy, the offensive goaltending for St.
Yeah.
Joseph's.
Thank
Man,
you.
shoot, yes, thank you. So we talk about the UAB getting some bad luck in the conference tournament, but hey, get some good luck right there, and well needed. But yeah, let's talk about that run. Jimmy, do you have the stats, or just talk about that late run that UAB made to pull the win out of St. Joseph's?
Yeah, first of all, I know it's the NIT, and we are certainly not as hyped about the NIT as we would be an NCAA tournament opportunity. With that being said, St. Joseph's is a good program with a good history. They had coming in this matchup, I didn't know, but they had the one guy, last name Fleming, that's projected. I've seen him as high as 12 in the NBA draft, as low as 28.
Ooh,
So he's a lottery pick-esque, talent. But speaking of runs, I thought that UAB in this matchup, y'all mentioned it, was in trouble when they went down 8. St. Joe's had the ball. It was 49-41. And it seemed like everything was just, St. Joe started off the game. I was watching in a big gym, and I was like, they are missing like everything. Like, this is your opportunity as a road team early to get a 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 point lead and take the crowd out of it, and give yourself some margin. UAB wasn't able to do that early, so it was just close. But then when St. Joe started hitting those shots, going on a run, it was danger time. Luckily for UAB, they went in a 7-0 run. And speaking of that final run, John, it was the same 7-0 run at the end of the game that was able to spark UAB's first lead in the second half, and UAB this time was able to hold on. So Christian Coleman was a big part of that. I know we'll talk about him in a moment. He was certainly the thing. I saw someone say on X, he was the Ken Palm MVP of the game. But for me, just kind of like opening thoughts was I believe that UAB did the things formula wise that this team needs to do to win. We hear Coach talk about all the time, but you look at some of those key statistical areas like getting to the free throw line. UAB had made 5 more free throws, shot 8 more attempts than St. Joe's. They were plus 14 in the rebounding. They were plus 10 points in paint and plus 12 in second chance points. So UAB did the things that this UAB team has to do to win these types of matchups. And again, just going back to St. Joseph's, last time I looked, they were 83 in Ken Palm, 76 in net, which would be the second highest team that UAB has beaten this season. North Texas being the only team higher than St. Joe's that UAB has beaten this year. So yeah, but I know we can talk about CC here in a moment, but related to that 7-0 stretch, it was really Christian Coleman and some of those transition dunks and buckets there late. The one that he had, I think it was over number 22, who was just packing every shot that UAB threw up in the paint in the opening minutes of that matchup. It was Christian Coleman in transition that he kind of had the 22 was going up, but he avoided contact and avoided the block shot, was able to kind of pump it and throw it down. That was just like a lightning play. that really energized. You saw Christian Coleman like after stare down the little like 15 students or whatever.
Section, yeah.
Hey, St. Joe's announced for that game like 1,000 in attendance. They only seat like 3,800. They play in the A10. They won whatever it was, 22 games like in the A10, and was a good team. Like imagine if UAB just had 1,000 in attendance like an NIT matchup against St. Joe's. Like we'd have, local publications talking about just shutting the basketball program down because nobody cares. And those are the people that just don't look around like the landscape of college basketball and always want to compare.
Good point.
UAB to just out, oh, look at Arkansas. They got 20,000 people and no, like we don't play in that space. There are so many programs that are respectable that no one cares to SHIT on all the time that will get far less support than UAB. Last thing on the St. Joe's, I don't know if y'all saw in the corner. Y'all know they got that mascot that has to do the flapping.
Yes.
The whole game. I heard on the broadcast that he averages 3,000 flaps a game. And so my question is, how many flaps, Darren? You got some big arms, bro. But how many flaps could you do before you would just tire out?
I couldn't do it. Like no way, bro.
Hey, real quick, while we were talking about Jimmy brought up attendance, do you know how many fans attended Santa Clara's first round matchup in a lopsided win over UC Riverside? Take a guess. Take a guess. Santa Clara. Just take a guess. How many people?
I'm trying to answer before. Like I know it's probably going to be lower than I think, so I'm gonna try to give you like a real answer I would have guessed before. So I'm gonna guess 2,700.
Darian?
3,500.
672 people attended that game.
That's
lying. You're lying.
No, I swear to
How many people do they see?
Look, what's Steve Nash in attendance? That's what I want to know.
Steve Nash. Look
how many people do that? How many do they see?
I'll have to look that up.
Yeah,
there were so many programs that had these small gyms, bleachers, barely any seating behind the goal, all this stuff. I was talking to Big Jim. We were watching games on tap, Liberty Park last night, and I was just talking about the perception of you. We're getting way off the rails here, but I could just talk about this for like an hour. The perception of UAB has been just so much ASS forever. And why? It's because UAB has always been in these ginormous venues. Like UAB football, like, yes, there have been periods of time where UAB football had a couple thousand people, like, because I was there, and I was a student from 2010 to 2014, and early on, and even before then, we attended some games, and there were some rough times based on a lot of different factors. But there were plenty of moments where we would even get, we could have 30,000 people and fill up one side of Legion Field, and the cameras on TV pointed to the other side, and all the home fans wanted to sit together, and you could sit what App State's entire stadium's capacity is behind the bench for UAB, and the cameras would point the other way, and people would be watching the local news and be like, man, nobody cares about UAB. Turn your camera around this way, sir. And the perspective of UAB has always been that no one's cared, because we've always been put into, it's like trying to put me into like a 3XL t-shirt and expecting me to grow into it. It's like, not going to happen.
But they only and that we're talking about here. Did I cut out?
I'm still here. Was just me. Yeah, that's just me.
Okay, yeah. So they only know Alabama and Auburn, and that's what people here. That's all they care about. So that's the only thing they're gonna compare us to. They can't. It's the consumer's fault. I was thinking about this, and then here we go, more off the rails here. But
I feel like people want this discussion more instead of us previewing Santa Clara or recapping St. Joe's.
They hit a lot of threes. They broke the record for the West Coast Conference 3-pointers in a year.
They're a good team, but it's the consumer's fault because of what we're taught, what's publicized. It's kind of like it's like this in every sport now. It's kind of like, oh, look, they don't care. And it's talked about, that's what the media want to talk about. And it's so hyper focused on, look at this SEC program and look at this Big Ten program, and the NCAA is going to be no more. It's going to split off into these select group. We've heard this conversation, and then they go and they look at teams like UAB and see, look, they don't care. Well, compared to who? because that's what y'all are telling everybody, is that they only should care about Alabama and look at these draft picks. Oh, look at Auburn, Johnny Broom, blah blah blah. Like that is what it's become. And not only that, I feel like it's TV. It's
Mm.
it's it's been TV money that's been pushing this. Like we're gonna invest in this. So it's become so lopsided in terms of coverage and financial support from TV. Is that that's just what that's just what happens. And we live in this hyper capitalistic society, right? And then if you have money, more money keeps coming into that program, and then there's less money for the other people. Then people don't care. People are so desperate to be attached to a winner. People are so desperate to be attached to a winner. It's like, dude, you never stepped foot on this campus, on the Alabama campus. You never took a class. You never played sports. You haven't done anything. But since you were born in Birmingham, right? And you got some kind of capacity, like you're kind of close to Tide country, you feel like a winner. That's in your life, you can feel like a winner. I'm roll tide, right? Like that's what we've always done. I'm just like, but you drive by UAB every single day.
Hmm.
You have people talking to you saying, come out and support. You have people that interact with you. And I'm not blaming nobody for let's start. I'm not blaming nobody. You a grown person. You do what you want.
Yeah.
I'm just speaking on the
And you can
facts
pull
of it.
you can pull for both. I mean, like,
You
we're not telling you to, hey, exclusively pull for UAB. Is that realistic? No. I mean,
right.
It's two
everybody.
different leagues. It's like you can't root. It's like getting to a
Yeah.
point where it's like you can't root for the Atlanta Falcons and also root for UAB football. It's like they're completely separate at this point. Like the Big Ten and the SEC are like their own island right now. But my last thing on that was just like Bartow Arena seats 8,500 people, and you look at these games, you wouldn't have thought looking at the St. Joe's Arena like. Cause, I mean, they expanded out a little bit, but like still, you could watch like Sanford games, or you'll see on Santa Clara or St. Joseph's. Like put those 1,000 people from St. Joe's in an 8,500 seat arena at Bartow Arena and see what it looks like. It's going to look like in the year 2020 when they sat the season ticket holders up 10 rows from the top of Bartow Arena to have like 15 rows of separation from each other. Like it's like UAB has always been placed in these big venues. And the thought has been that we're always sitting on a gold mine. Like we're right here, and Birmingham is, right here in football country and all this stuff. But you know what it's going to take to actually capitalize on that and actually get us to that is unbelievable leadership from the athletic and the UAB administration. It's going to take them all rowing in the same direction, and we've never had that. So this whole thought of like, oh, we're going to take this team that is very similar to a lot of other teams, and they've got all this potential and have them reach that potential. It'll never happen until there's all this like everybody's rowing in the same direction, and that can and still may happen at some point. But my whole thing is here, I was just like sitting back and like you watch this NIT and you just open your eyes to all these other programs that are very much like us, that don't get the all the time nobody cares, just big brothered all the single time about just shut the program down and blah blah blah. It's just like a tired act that hopefully I know that our listeners on here don't care about, but it was just another reminder thinking about that 1,000 or what. Did you get an answer to the Santa Clara? How many they attend?
Yeah, well, that's the Levy Center. That's where they play basketball, but there was only 600 people there for the first round game. Like
Let's
that's
see.
Shut it down.
Yeah,
I
I
Shut the
mean,
mean,
who
program
cares?
down.
yeah.
Who cares? Shut them down.
Mhm.
They suck, right? That's what
That's
that's
the
what feel
national. Yeah,
They
that's
beat
the
McNeese
narrative.
State on the road, and they beat Gonzaga this year.
once.
Two teams
Yes.
that are in the round of the 32, but they can't get more than 600 people there. We got some Santa Clara people like, why are we catching these strays right now? It's not y'all.
Hey
We
man,
are on
Nah,
your side.
they're top 50. Kim Palmer or what are they? Oh, I'm just
yeah,
sharing. Yeah,
they're high.
53. So yeah, 53. So
So I don't know, man. I don't feel like it used to be like this, but like I said, you get this money and these TV executives, and now you have this eat or get eight whirlwind. Like I roll my eyes because the guy's just doing his job, but like every time I see a Greg Sankey article, the commissioner for the SEC, it's something of whining and trying to push the SEC to more. more.
Well, they
We need
freaking
more.
wanted more bids in the NIT. That's why they had to shift the whole NIT like auto bid and screw South Alabama out of bid. And like you have Greg Zanke, you have teams freaking declining the NIT. So stop whining.
Teams that won
It's
like 2 conference games in the SEC.
What-
Like
what-
South
what-
Carolina,
what-
LSU, man, who gives a shit? Dude, I'm sorry. It's a crap.
you
Man.
doing, man? Like I don't understand. Like why is it such like is it SEC, Big Ten, or bust? That is what it is going to, and it never used to be that. But we start giving all this control to these TV executives, and they start pushing money around. It lets you know how much money controls this whole thing, this whole country, honestly, the whole world. But how money controls the NCAA, and that's just what it is. Like they pour it in. Okay, we're gonna give you this time slot. Now it's NIL and it's the transfer portal. Now we're gonna actually pick off the guys from the team that you have raised up, right? Like that you put all this coaching and this time and love. You probably done cried with their parents. You done did all this. Then after 1 year, they like, hey, coach, I appreciate all that. I really do. And I see the vision. I really see the vision where this program is going. Keep doing that. But you know what? Oh, Miss just offered me $750,000.
Did y'all see the
What are
McNeil?
what are
Did
you
y'all see
supposed to
Will
do?
Wade? Will Wade did an interview after they beat Clemson, and I forget who it was with, but he was like, or they were asking, like, are you still going to take the NC State job? I was like, yeah. I mean, my players are going to go P4 after this year. I mean,
He
is
said
what it
some might
is.
come with him. He said that when he
Yes.
recruited him, he was like the goal was to get him to the next level.
What are we doing?
Hey,
What are we
think about
doing?
this. West Virginia loses their coach. They hire the Drake coach. The guy goes to Drake. He keeps the momentum going. Now he's rumored to be in the mix for Iowa. And it's just like you have like these people. And why are the coaches moved? Coaches have always moved. We're all grown men. We all move jobs, except for me. I've had the same one for like 10.5 years. And John's been in his forever.
me
So,
too,
dude,
yeah.
I think we actually all
We're
have
the
been in our jobs
exception.
forever.
Look, I
Yeah.
just got this yesterday. Like
Oh,
10
look
years
at hey,
into-
let's
10
go,
years.
bro. Let's go.
Maybe that's
So
why we
So
join
we're the
fans,
exception.
man.
We're the exception.
This is why we
That's
feel the way
join
that we do.
Yeah.
Stay off my lawn.
But I was listening to something, and they were talking about the Iowa job, and they were like, "Well, Iowa's like near the bottom of their conference, and like they don't have good NIL support. It's like $2 million a year." And I'm like, $2 million a year is like the bottom, and that got me thinking about like, okay, well, what if our guy AK left? And it's like, okay, well, if our guy AK left to go take another job, it's like, well, first of all, your base salary is going to increase, so that could be life changing, for you and your family. So that's the number one priority, but if you go take a program in a higher conference and they are in the bottom tier of their conference as it relates to NIL support, how is that situation much different than your current situation other than your base? So you're still going to be fighting the same uphill battle with like the NIL dollars. We can't get the same money that Michigan has with NIL. So how are we supposed to compete with these? So it happens like at every level, but it's just like that whole conversation about NIL is just all the time, and it is exhausting. Like it's literally all the time. I support the what's even our NIL collective? Sorry, Southside Solution. Like we had AK on, and I started doing it. It's just like a part of it now. I'm just like, hey, just take it out month to month, like whatever. Like let's do this thing. I want us to compete or whatever.
Programming note, John. Just cut off the Memphis part and let's just keep this. Like we're really flowing, man.
No, because we had people asking about Memphis, so I felt like we needed to talk. And I'm still going to title this episode.
Maybe we can put markers in. Like, hey, if you really want to get to the meat,
just fast forward.
Meat and potato. Yeah, just like go to this mark because I'm enjoying this topic because I feel like we had some stuff to get off of our chest about this. And
it makes it to where I can't, like, I watch sports and I'm thinking about all this stuff. Like, I want to watch sports and not think about NIL and politics and governance and transfer portal and like,
right.
like I watched Jabari McGee have 3 straight games or whatever it was, 22 points. And I'm like, oh, he's gone. Like, Penny Hardaway is gonna, offer him, again. And that would be great for him. Jabari, if you're listening, hey, get it. But it sucks because.
Who was our cornerback that went to Georgia Tech?
He was a freshman, true freshman.
Yeah,
we've already forgot.
We were watching him by the third start. We were like, guys, he's performing really well. That is a good thing. That's a good thing. We have a true freshman that's like performing really well, no matter what the team doing. But we was like, damn, we got a true
Yeah.
freshman performing really well. It's been good. It's been nice.
It was
We
nice
know
knowing
it.
you.
We know it's over with. We saw Cam Shanks finally get his just due. Once Cam Shanks performed well against Arkansas, we was like, it's a wrap.
Yep.
And I'm sitting here as a fan, like I can't even be happy for our young guys.
Adrian Maddox. Oh, I was looking at
No, he went to Georgia, right?
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
talking about Georgia Tech. You're talking about the corner.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, we talking about the cornerback, the true freshman. You know, but once we saw him, we was like, dog, I don't know if we're gonna be able to hold on.
Kelvin Hill.
Kelvin Hill. Oh my God. Like I just got heartbroken all over again, yo. Like, so it used to be a time when I used to be so excited, like whatever the year is what it is, but we got all of these young guys, they all perform well. I see the vision. What vision can we have now? What vision can we have? Football, basketball, what vision can we have now? We can't even like coach our guys up to be something special because they just don't, because of money. It all comes back. It ain't even about facilities or anything no more. We got good facilities. We do have good facilities. Ask anybody.
Yeah.
We have good
the
facilities,
best.
basketball, football. What more? We have, at least in basketball, like it's good coaching. Now Jabari McGee may be gone, or he might get $1 million or something. Who knows? I don't know what he's gonna get, but I'm just like, dude, I don't know the answer to this. I don't think there is an answer to this. I think it's on the consumers because we have allowed this. Honestly, at some point, it's us as a consumer as a whole because we push for this in a sense as a collective. Am I wrong? Because the majority of people are SEC fans. They are Big Ten fans, and they have pushed and pushed and pushed. I'm just like, dude, you're just gonna get this hyper focused, watered down, just a professional league. That's all you're gonna get. So here we are, and this is just a sucky state. No way. It's something that John you said about Santa Clara that just done lit me up. You 762 people.
It was less than that, 600 something.
670.
600. Like I'm trying to give them an extra 100.
How many were from the road team too? Were there like 100 people there?
Oh
from
my
the
God!
road team?
Yeah, because they're a California team. Oh, dude. So
This is a
Is that the
program
band?
that they gave us Steve Nash, a 2-time MVP, bro. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, but California's so beautiful. They're probably just outside chilling. They didn't want to go to this, crummy basketball game.
who cares? Who cares about
yeah.
this program, Santa Clara, right? Like, give us USC or
But look at their attendance. Probably not very good either.
I was gonna say.
Do we want to talk about Santa Clara before we? Hey, this discussion right here is going to be so interesting because I think that we need to carry it on. The transfer portal for college basketball opens up on Monday. It opens up. I mean, I'm sure there's been no conversations transpiring, but it officially opens up on Monday. But it's going to be really interesting to follow like the ins and outs. And I've got a lot of thoughts that I'd like to share. With our listeners when we have more time. I texted you guys. It was like in the midst of all the emotion. But I was talking about the transfer portal and the hit rates and the success rates, before NIL became like super good. You had the Jellies and the Trey Jemison and the KJ Buffins, and you had Quan Jackson, Mike Ertl, and you had, I'm forgetting some names off the top of my head, but you had these dudes. And then the last couple of years, you've seen a shift into the JUCO mindset, and we've had some success with that. And less on the transfer portal side. And we're about to have transfer portal open up. It's going to be interesting to follow. We know that we've been recruiting at the JUCO level and to the D2 level. But for those of you that are interested in that conversation, we're definitely going to be having those conversations here, probably on the Patreon, but also on the free feed as well. So definitely give us a listen. But do we want to close out? I got a couple things on Santa Clara if we want to just talk about that.
Give it and close. Yeah.
Okay. The only things I wanted to say about just quick notes on the St. Joseph's game was like Yax and CC. Like we talk about these guys all the time, especially Yax, but it was really cool to see his family and friends in attendance in that game. Like they were like, we needed to put the Yax friends and family group like in the student section, like at UAB, because they were like into it. You could hear them on the broadcast, you could see them on the broadcast. So shout out to everybody.
Real quick, while I'm thinking about complaining, where was what was the organization, the church organization, that have?
I know who you're talking about. Trey Jemison was
Yeah.
united with them, and
Where were they at this year? I think they came to like 2 games.
John, they were at church.
I mean,
We had some Sunday games. I don't know where they
Should have
were.
been church too.
They could have church before the game.
After we lost to like High Point, they was like, whatever. They was like,
That was Longwood. After we lost to Longwood.
Longwood or something. They was like, whatever.
They're like, even God can't save this right now.
I did. Jimmy, continue. I'm sorry.
But Yax, AK talked about it. He had somewhat of an off game for him. Like he was, pushing things pretty hard. I mean, there was like rumored to be 7 or 8 NBA scouts there. Then somebody said like 20. Like they wanted to see the matchup between him and Fleming. But it's always funny with Yax because he'll go out there and get whatever it was, like 16 points and 17 rebounds and 2 blocks and 3 steals and all this stuff. And it's kind of like he didn't really play that well. It's like, so it's always cool to see that he destroyed that matchup.
Who was finding CC in transition a lot?
Yeah,
man, it was Yax running with the ball.
It was getting the rebound, pushing it. But I'm like, this dude he's a good player, bro. We gotta appreciate that.
And speaking of CC, he 7 of 11 from the field, 15 points, 7 rebounds, 26 minutes. We touched on the Memphis game. I didn't think that CC, I kind of hinted at it our last podcast, was playing like his best ball despite the stat line. And during the conference tournament, he averaged, 8 points, 4 rebounds, and almost 30 minutes a game in the AAC tournament. That isn't what's going to help UAB win a championship, but he came off the bench and played one of his better games as of late. So shout out to him, 9 of his 15 points in the second half. Hopefully he can build upon that against the Santa Clara team. The guard play for UAB, McGee, Vasquez, Tony, Butta, and Moore combined to go 9 of 32 against St. Joseph's. That's 28%. They were 3 of 12 from 3. That's 25%. So UAB is going to have better shooting, in my opinion, to beat the Santa Clara team. And part of that reason is Santa Clara is really dangerous from 3. They broke the conference record, 363 made threes this season. Compare that to UAB, 228 made threes. That's 135 more threes that they've hit than UAB. That equates to 405 points. You stretch that out to 35 game season. That means they're getting about 12 points on average per game more than UAB is from the 3-point land. So that 3-point, they hit 16 in their first matchup in front of, they almost had as many made threes as they had people in attendance in that game. They went 16 of 27 from 3-point range, 59% from 3. Santa Clara, if y'all whoop our butt, I really have nothing bad to say about you guys.
Hey,
Steve Nash, I love the dude. Like it's just whatever. I actually wrote in my notes here they likely won't have a big crowd.
What is it, 300?
Yeah, I read on their message board. I think it was like finals week for them, and they're going into spring break, so students won't be there. So like we're kidding with Santa Clara. Like it's that weird time of the year with spring break. I don't know if y'all's kids are on spring break next year, or next week.
Yes. I'm going to Gatlinburg.
Y'all going where?
Gatlinburg. So I ain't doing no instant reaction to Santa Clara. Yeah.
Okay. That'll be fun. We'll have to recap that trip on the next podcast. But anyways, for me in this matchup, like UAB is going to have to really do again what we do well. I think that UAB is going to have to kind of like muck this up a little bit. I think that they're going to have to play a slower down pace. I know that UAB likes to get up and down, but I'm nervous about getting up and down with Santa Clara. Because they're going to have that West Coast ball movement, they're the 1-3-1. They're going to find those corner guys, in those opportunities, and they're going to hit those made threes. And so I really think that we're going to have to see good perimeter defense from Tony, and McGee, and that we're going to have some better than average performances, perimeter D from Abutta and with AJ Vasquez. And we can't let Santa Clara, although they love to do it, we can't let them hit 11, 12, 13 threes unless we're going to have one of our games in which we've got that Vasquez 25 plus point performance, or Butta, with 17, 18 points, or Tony hitting 3 threes, like those outliers that aren't very consistent. Unless those things happen, I think we're going to have to slow the ball down, and we're going to have big games from Ezeriro, Yax, and CC, win the points in the paint, get to the free throw line, do the things that we do well. And right now, UAB is a 7.5-point dog, which is a pretty big line. So the betting line started at 6.5, or it moved to 7.5. So people are betting for Santa Clara. I like being the underdog. So let's see if UAB can come out Sunday night, 8 o'clock Central, ESPNU, get an upset, and then see if we maybe have a matchup against maybe Jacksonville State, or maybe we'll have to stay out in California and play the 1 seed out there.
Hell yeah. What Jimmy said.
Let's talk about NIL.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you said something about like going up and down. It's so funny in my head. Like you were saying, you don't want to get caught in that type of game, but I feel like CC thrives. He's really found something like kind of late in the season and getting out in transition. So we probably don't want to do that, but if it's a Yaks rebound, kind of push ahead, and if CC can run the court, he's smaller, weight wise for big, right? But he's quick and he has a quick second jump. Use your tools to your advantage. If that's the type of player you are, you go do that. And he's found success doing that. It's been a lot of easy buckets that we sometimes we bog down and have court offense. CC get out and go. Rebounding ain't his strength. It hasn't been his strength this year, right? Well, find out what your strength is and do that. I try to be solution focused, not sit there and complain about what a player isn't doing. So if CC can play to his strengths, we can do that. And then if they do hit 13 threes, let it be on 50 attempts, right? Like let them, if they just gonna force them up, cool. But let us switch. Let us be on those guys. We know they're a good 3-point shooting team. Well, play them like it. Don't sit there and get in drop coverage when they run a pick and roll and you give a 39% 3-point shooter open shot. Like, why do stuff like that? Make them, force them to. They're gonna take threes. Make them tough, and let's execute a game plan. That's all I ask for. If a team beat us, they beat us. But I am a stickler for playing good sound ball. And then if we get our ass beat, I'm cool with that. So, shout out to Santa Clara, man. We ain't mean for y'all to catch strays like that. This is what the NCAA has done to us, bro. They're trying to phase us out. Like they're just not. But it's not just UAB this
SEC. I
time.
think it's the SEC and Big Ten what they have done to the sport.
And I'm disappointed in us, the consumer, too.
Yeah.
So, and we play into it. Some guy that was born in freaking Idaho somewhere that's like a Kentucky fan, right? Or he's a he's an Ohio State fan. You have no allegiance to this team, like, but you tune in to every Ohio State game. You are willing to fly out and catch a game and spend all your money, even though they overcharging you. You buy all the merch and apparel. I'm just like, dude, support freaking Idaho, man. They're right there asking for your support. But hey, that's what the media has taught us to do. Support the big team, give them all the money, and that's where we at. Nobody else plays football and basketball, just those teams.
We talked about Steve Nash. I just remembered I was looking it up. Jalen Williams, Oklahoma City Thunder, was on Santa Clara. Santa Clara is a dang good basketball program. If UAB wins this game, it will be the best win of the UAB basketball season.
Hey, let's win it all, man. Hey, yeah.
They deserve more fan support.
Jalen Williams just had a game where he dropped 19 points and like 17 rebounds and 11 assists for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Like, that's a good program.
Yes.
It's a good program. What are we doing? He's a young player. What are we doing, bro? You shouldn't even told me that. I didn't know he went to Santa Clara. I'm a Jalen Williams. I like how he plays. Like, what are we doing? Like, oh man, come on. He's the second best player on the Oklahoma City Thunder. No, you're talking about they got two Jay Williams. You're talking about.
I'm talking about the good one.
He was an all-star.
Yeah, I'm talking about the good one. The other one played at Arkansas. I'm talking about the Jalen Williams.
He was an all-star this year. Oklahoma City is like the best team in the NBA. He is
Santa Clara. What's y'all's NIL like? Santa Clara. What's y'all's NIL like?
What are we talking about? Why are they not supported? What are we?
I saw somebody on X that's so out of touch that said something like it was a Memphis fan. He said, "Yeah, UAB paid Yaks $500,000. We don't have $500,000."
Man, I was gonna say, hey,
like if we did, I'd be wanting to shout that from the mountaintop. Like, we got $500,000, fellas. We got like $700K for all of UAB athletics. That's including bowling and rifle and softball. I mean, that's including everything.
Where we get that money from?
I don't know. It's just the internet. We could go off on a whole another thing about X. I was off X for like 4 weeks or something like that again, and my life is never happier than when I just stay off there. And then it was around like conference tournament time. I hop back on. I'm like, oh my! Now I'm listening to coaching, rumors.
Do it. All we need is some money.
I'll just I'll win the lottery when I'm up here in Tennessee this weekend.
Yes.
That's our money.
How much we gonna put in NIL? How much you donate?
Well, we gonna keep at least 3/4 of it, right?
Yeah. You gonna give him
Hey,
a smooth million? Give him a
John
million.
would be
Yeah.
the monopoly on the Dwayne McBride and Jacob Zeno cards. There'd be nothing left.
Oh man, we're waiting on that Yaxel Lindeborg card market.
How did Dwayne McBride get cut from the Showboats? Y'all see that on X? He got cut from the
He
Memphis
got
Show-
cut?
Yeah.
No,
yeah,
I
he
did
got
not hear.
cut.
Anybody is on the market for a Dwayne McBride, 105 rookie card? I bought it on eBay. I don't want to talk about how much I bought it for, but he just got cut by the Showboats. So
That sucks. That sucks. Well, on that note, Darren, send us out.
Hey, what I can offer the players is look at what we doing. If you do come to these programs, the Santa Claras and the UABs of the world, one thing you can say is we actually really care. We're sitting here doing this right now, so I don't know how much that means to any player, uh, but we care. We wouldn't be here if we didn't care. Nobody else seems to care, but we do. We care for y'all. So thank y'all from the bottom of our heart. Thank y'all, honestly. So on that note, keep fighting. Go Blazers.